Hi, Amy Fox here, Australia's first IFBB Physique Pro, and today I've got some great exercises just for the ladies, so join me in the gym. Okay, I've got a great superset to start the workout. What we're going to be using is the fit ball and also the leg press, so we're going to go from one to the other. Now usually what you'd do is you'd start with your biggest muscle groups first and work down into your smaller muscle groups. But today we're actually going to flip it on its head, do the opposite. So I'm going to use the fit ball, I'm going to lie on the ground, I'm going to stimulate the inner thighs, so the adductors, then I'm going to hop straight onto the leg press and actually get my legs into a position so I can isometrically contract the adductor muscle as well, so really burning it out. All right, I'm going to start with the fit ball quite close to the leg press there, just so it doesn't pop out when I start to squeeze my knees. Now, as you can see, my bum is also quite close as well, so as I lie down, I'm going to get in position here, make sure my feet are flat, and squeeze my knees as hard as I can. Now, as you can see, the ball's really unstable, so you actually will shake while you're doing this movement. Now, the shaking is the good part, that's the good thing. So that means you're working nice and hard. Try and keep your head nice and relaxed so that your spine is neutral. Think about your core as well, so make sure that your abs are switched on. And you're just moving the knee in and out. Then, as we get into the leg press, get your feet into a comfortable position, but they need to be close together. So the reason I'm keeping them close together is that the adductor muscle, your inner thigh muscle, is going to be responsible for holding your knees together throughout the movement. So you do have two options. You can either push the body weight through the heels or you can push through the toes. They both do slightly different things. So if you're pushing through the heels as you press the leg press, it's going to help you bring more of your glutes or just so you can feel it more in your glutes. However, if you're pushing more through the toes, it's going to make you feel it more in your quads. So depending on what you're hitting that day, you can also add on a couple of extra things in terms of foot pressure. So for me, I'm just going to stick with the heels, and I've also got a lower foot placement as well. So I go lower mainly because my legs are a little bit short for a lot of the pieces of equipment. So I find a high foot placement, my range of movement is too short, and I really want a big range of movement to get the most out of the exercise. Keep my knees together, go as deep as I can, and then pushing up through the heels. Make sure the movement's not bouncing, so the joint's not wobbling when you get to the top. You want it controlled the whole way. And I'm aiming for a big range of movement as deep as I can. Now, as you can see, my head is up. I'm actually looking at my feet. But as you get to learn the movement and you feel more confident, it's actually better to keep your spine in neutral position, just to protect your back. So you're always considering your posture when you're on these pieces of equipment. Okay, I'm just going to do one that's incorrect. So if I lose tension of my inner thighs here, you'll notice this happen with the knees. So instead of them staying together, they'll start to creep out. So if you see the knees going in and out like this, you need to shorten your range of movement until you've got better control, because it means that muscle's switching off, which is what we don't want. Okay, so in terms of sets and reps, what I want you to do is start with 3 sets. When you're on the fit ball, do 20 repetitions. It's body weight only. Keep the repetitions nice and high. However, when you move on to the leg press, keep the reps lower. So we're aiming for about 10. The purpose of the 10 repetitions is to stimulate more hypertrophy. Now, don't get scared when I say hypertrophy. We're not trying to bulk up the muscle as such. We just want to tone the muscle and get the most amount of fat burning possible. So high repetitions mixed with heavier weight and lower reps is going to be really beneficial. All right, the second superset of the inner thigh workout is using the lying hamstring curl. So the lying hamstring curl, we're going to apply the same kind of principles. So we're going to keep our stance really, really narrow, our feet together and our knees together as well. We're actually going to start with the little muscle first. So again, we're doing exactly the same adductor squeeze on the fit ball to pre-fatigue before the lying hamstring curl. Set it to a weight, again, that's quite challenging because you're only going to be doing 10 repetitions. So I'm going to hop on. The first thing I'm going to do is keep my legs really, really straight. Put my heels together, pull my knees in as close together as I can, and push my hips, as I was saying before, into the pad. So I'm actually going to activate my glutes by pushing the hips into the pad, and see how my legs actually came up when I did that. So I'm going to let the glutes go, So my glutes are relaxed, and watch what happens when I push in. The weight comes off the stack. So this is my starting position. I'm not going to go any lower than this for the 10 repetitions to make sure that my glutes are working too. So as I curl up, knees together, keeping my glutes switched on, and go into a completely straight position. I'm actually flexing my quads at the bottom too to force the hamstrings to stretch under load. This is the incorrect way to do it. So you'll come up and the knees will start coming out. Or worse still, the feet will come apart. So I want them to stay together the whole time, which is actually quite hard to do. Because again, they're tired after being on the fit ball. So if they're coming apart like that, that's what you don't want. So again, guys, 20 repetitions on the fit ball, followed by reasonably heavy lying leg curls for 10 reps. All right, our third and final superset using the hack slide machine and the fit ball once again. So this time I'm actually going to target the hamstrings first, and then on the hack slide more of the quads. Both pieces of equipment though, I'm actually going to be working on my inner thighs again. So everything that we do, we're going to keep the knees really, really close together. So I'm going to start on the floor. I'm going to put my feet up on the fit ball like this, get my balance, keep my knees and ankles together, relax my head back in neutral spine position, use my glutes to lift my hips off the ground. Now you don't want to overextend and hyperextend the lower back there, and likewise you don't want to sort of dip down like this because then the glutes aren't working enough. So when I'm in this position, I'm looking at keeping my heels, knees, hips and also my shoulders in a nice straight line. Now maintain my hip position as I drag the ball in towards my bum as far as I can. There should be no movement at the hip joint here. Everything is staying really, really still. Squeezing my knees together to target those inner thighs. 20 repetitions. And as you can see, the movement is quite slow. I'm not bouncing. I'm trying to fully extend my knee each time so I get a full range of movement. Really squeezing the hamstrings as I flex my knee and squeezing the quads to straighten my knee. After your 20 repetitions, I'm going to hop straight onto the hack slide. And again, I'm going to do the same kind of foot position as I did on the lying leg press, which is a lower foot stance here. However, I'm still pushing through the heels. So feet together, ankles together, knees together, and I'm going to go down as low as possible, maintaining neutral spine. If the knees start to come apart, that indicates the inner thighs are fatigued and tired. Squeezing all the weight through my heels. So perform again 3 sets, 20 on the lying hamstring curls using the fit ball, 10 on the hack slide machine. That wraps up our lower body fat loss workout targeting the inner thighs. There's 6 exercises there, so the first 6 are really great for beginners. Keep it on the one day and do the outer thigh stuff on a separate day altogether. If you're advanced, however, you can put them all together and have a really intense workout.